A lot of you guys have been asking, who's Turn14 Distribution? They sponsor our website, they sponsor some of our video series. So we're here to take a tour of their corporate headquarters and show you their warehousing so you get a better idea of what they're all about. As you guys will see in this 35,000 square foot corporate headquarters, they have a ton of cool graphic design here. Their head graphic designer is mega talented, and this timeline of their corporate history is a really good example of that. I've never seen a corporate timeline done in this cool a fashion before, but literally started in like the dorm rooms of the two founders and then in their parents' basement. Kind of the classic startup story in a lot of ways. But they grew quickly into a 17,000 square foot warehouse, and I think their first year they made $7.8 million in sales. So this is a aftermarket performance wholesaling company, and from there things just continue to blow up because they were doing it right. And now all the way down to, well, their graphic goes to 2015 and they are just mega big. I mean, they won the Wholesale Distributor of the Year award at SEMA. Their sales numbers, I don't know if they're on here, but it's big. These guys are literally one of the world's leaders in wholesale distribution of performance parts. Just doing a little work here in my personal boardroom. This is the Road America room. They have a bunch of boardrooms like this here, and they're all themed. They're all named after racetracks. And this all ties in with their name, Turn14. So as you can see at Road America, the 14th turn is the last turn before the mega long front straight. So all these track mapped rooms that you'll see in the tour have the 14th turn marked out like this. We're just here distracting people in the sales department. They've got this stats sheet up here. It's like the NFL stats, the combine. You can see how everyone's doing in their departments. So you've got your diesel sales section here. You've got your muscle sales section here. You've got a tuner section, you know, the import tuner. That's our section.
Compact, yeah.
That's where we buy our parent parts in there. And then at the end, I think they've got like new business development. So they've got a whole department here cranking away on sales. Not to you directly, but to their vendors. So if you run a shop, you have an account here, these guys manage those accounts. Hold on, Peter, I'm closing a sale here, buddy. They've got these cool little, they call them the penalty boxes, but they're a nice little like silent room where if you want to have a conversation with a customer, but you don't want to do it in the cube because things might get a little personal or too loud. You might want to swear a little, get a little colorful. To close that deal, you come in the silent room here and you do your thing. You do the real talk in here, Peter. This is where the real talk happens. I'm going to use my quiet voice in the purchasing department here because they're buying things. This is where all the parts from the manufacturers get bought, and then that information gets loaded into the back end of the website so that if you're a customer of Turn14's, you can see all the parts in the back end and buy what you need. Ships out like that. Welcome to the web development department, the department that Peter and I are least qualified to work in. These guys are coding, basically. They're doing all the deep thinking. The brain power is just melting walls in here as they develop the back end of the website. I guess all their software, I believe, is developed in-house here. So these guys are building that system to support their massive customer base.
Yeah, it makes it easy for everybody to buy stuff, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big selling points of Turn14 is that their back end is so seamless. It works so well. Like all the shops that we deal with that buy parts from Turn have such an easy experience to buy parts, and I think that's why they prefer to buy from Turn, because it's just a painless experience. Things get shipped quickly. The order is dealt with professionally. If there's a problem, they call customer support and it's dealt with quickly. And really that all starts here with the back-end development being so strong. Plus they got stand-up workstations, Peter. I mean, look at this thing. Stand here.
I know.
Work on my codes, hitting my ones and zeros all day. Binary machine.
And check out these monitors.
I know, some real estate, I like it. As we mentioned off the top, they have a super talented graphic arts team here. Their lead designer does all of this stuff, and it's just so cool. I mean, it's got that vintage hot rod style, and then there's some more like very clean graphic design style posters. It's all just really, really well done. I think you could turn all of these into t-shirts, and I would want one. And that's a big part of their strength too, is they're able to offer this service to the manufacturers whose parts they sell. So if Coney wants like their Coney man redone, they can do that. And in fact, this is exactly that. That's a reinterpretation of their old Coney man, which had kind of a little bit too old school look, maybe.
Scary.
He was kind of scary looking, so they made him friendlier looking and just, you know, a little bit more modernized, and yet still got that cool vintage vibe. Like everything here at Turn14, even their lunchroom is like first class. It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
And these mugs over here are so nice. I think I might have to take one. They've got enough of them, right, Pete? Like,
Yeah, I think so.
nobody's going to notice if
one.
I just spread those out a bit and we'll be good to go. It's going to be the new shop mug. Can you guess where we are now with all the creative things on the wall? That's right, this is the creative design department where they design their t-shirts and do their ads for magazines and websites and banners and all that good stuff. And actually they even run their own blog style content site called Front Street Media, where they have some really good feature cars, event coverage, phenomenal photography, good story writing. So go and check that out if you get a chance. In fact, Pete and I even contribute once in a while to that site. The man we work most closely with here at Turn14 is Darryl Sampson, the marketing director, and I think we'll pop in and maybe invade his personal space a little bit, show you some of his trinkets in here. Look, it's Darryl. And
what's up, guys?
He likes BMWs. We like to make fun of the fact that he likes BMWs.
He wasn't always a BMW guy.
You know, he's got some JDM flavor too. He's got an Evo 10. He's got a new M3 on order. Look up there. He's got his BMW toys.
Don't forget my RX-7.
That's true. That's true. We got to give him respect. It's a rotary RX-7 too. It hasn't done the V8 swap thing.
Are there other kinds of RX-7s?
Exactly. Once you do that, it's not an RX-7 anymore.
There's like a variation of an RX-7.
Yeah, we won't even go there. But anyway, this is where all the marketing genius stems from. It just flows out of this office into those other cubes. Here in the customer service department, they troubleshoot problems for customers. So if the UPS man stomps your package out too strong, you call these guys up and they will resolve that for you. They've got their metrics on the wall here that are telling them how quickly they're resolving the problem, and they take detailed notes on everything, and so they can pass it on to the next guy on shift if it's not resolved in time. But this is where your troubleshooters live, including a rather famous troubleshooter down at the end here. If you're a drift fan, you'll know Jeff Stoneback. He is a guy who likes to kill tires. Drove with Forsberg Turn last year. You're taking a year off to do this new video series on the Motor Trend channel, right?
Yeah, taking a year off. It's a super cool opportunity and just decided to roll with it. And I know FD will always be there, but I wanted to expand my horizons and do the show. So.
Get a little internet fame going. And ironically for us, it's called the Modified Show. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Modified.
It's, using the old magazine that Peter used to be the editor-in-chief of. The reality is, though, you also have to have an other job.
Yeah.
Here at Turn14, you are part of the customer support team?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when somebody calls in here? You literally get on a call that someone's got a problem and you're going to solve that problem?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, some of the issues, I wouldn't say issues, but some of the things that we deal with is like tracking numbers, ETAs on orders, if parts are in stock. Sometimes we do have issues where, you know, the customer receives the wrong part. We definitely help them out with that, give them a label, give them all the paperwork to send it back, and we help them out with the new orders. So.
Awesome, okay.
Yeah.
You run an operation this big, you need a classroom to teach people stuff, and if you're going to teach people stuff, why not call it the Nürburgring Room, because that's got to be the trickiest racetrack in the world to master. So I assume they do staff training in here, and I think that pretty
Dealer
much...
training and all that
Dealer
stuff,
training
yeah.
too, sure, okay. All kinds of learning goes on in here, and we're going to wrap the tour of their corporate headquarters up right here. Welcome to the brand new 260,000 square foot warehouse that Turn14 has just built in the Philadelphia area. It's now where all the performance parts in the world live. Let's go inside and check out how this giant operation works. The action starts here in the receiving department, where all the performance parts come in off the trucks, and then they get loaded onto this conveyor system here, where they start their journey into the warehouse. We're now in the labeling department, I think we could call it, where all the newly received product comes in and is scanned, weighed, and measured on a system that's completely designed in-house at Turn14. So their coders, which we showed you back at their corporate headquarters, actually do all the coding that control these machines. And the reason they want to weigh them and measure them is so that they have a way of knowing where on the shelves they should go. So based on all that measurement and weighing, they'll label them and they'll move on to the next department. Once those packages are properly dimensionalized and in the system, they come down this conveyor belt here to sorting. The big packages go to one side, the smaller packages go to the other. and then they're ready to go up on the shelves. I think I'm going to take this small OS Geiken package with me, Peter. Once everything is sorted, it goes on these shelves, which are your pretty typical warehousing shelves that literally go to the ceiling, packed with product in what would appear at first to be somewhat of a haphazard way. You've got different products all mixed in, but the reason they do that is they've got a coding system, so they know exactly where each of these products is located, and it also allows them to make maximum use of the space they have by kind of playing Jenga in there, playing Tetris, and using all the space up with different sized boxes. So it doesn't have to be organized in that traditional, all of product X has to be here and all of product Y has to be there. It's actually better organized despite looking a little bit more chaotic. It's pretty cool seeing how they pull product off the shelf on these forklifts. The aisles are just wide enough for him to fit down here, but he can't turn around, so he's got to make a pass and pull what he needs as he goes. You can see he's actually using a handheld scanner. It looks almost like an iPhone, where he's scanning in the codes for each product so that the system knows what he's shipping out. And he also obviously uses that scanner when he's picking the product off the shelf. The brake pads on the mullet are squeaking a bit. Peter, do you think maybe we should swap in some HPSs, or maybe some performance ceramics, or maybe some DTC 60s? We want to go big. I mean, we just got all the choices in the world here, man. Brake pads, brake pads. So if we just ordered 10 sets of Hawk brake pads, they're not going to ship them to us individually in the little box. It's going to come here to the boxing department, where it's all boxed up into a nice, durable, larger box, taped up, and then up the conveyor belt to the next step. We're getting close to the end of the line now. As these packages are approaching the automated shipping label machine, it actually kind of spits the label on the box. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Each package is then sent to the correct shipping bay, where it's loaded on a truck and starts its journey to the vendor that ordered it. If for whatever reason the product you ordered from Turn14 isn't to spec or was damaged, they have a no questions asked return policy here, so things come back into this department where the guys open up the box, see what may be missing, see if there's been any damage to it. There may be situations, for example, where the part's been installed and they can tell here that's been installed, so they're able to go back to the vendor and say, okay, we've got an issue here that needs to be cleared up. But in any case, I think it's pretty awesome that Turn offers a no questions asked return policy. Things come back in here and everything's good, then it goes back on the shelf. That wraps up our tour here at the Turn14 warehouse. I'm so tired I need to cruise in a golf cart at this point. I should also mention that if you're having trouble getting the parts you need at your local speed shop, tell them to sign up with Turn14, because they obviously are going to have what you need in stock. They'll ship it out in a day or two. The whole process to sign up is really painless. And while we're here, Peter, what do you say we do a little shopping too? What do we need? Borla, Magnaflow, MBRP, HKS, Vibrant, WeatherTech, Magnaflow. They got it all. Where's my StopTech big brakes? Wait a minute, where's my OS Geiken diff? Let's go grab that, Peter. Let's go. Actually, before we leave the corporate headquarters, we wanted to show you a little spot they have here in like their customer waiting room. Is that what they call it? Like their partner
like
room. They've got like the Madman style bar area here. So